Welcome back to the Living the Dream podcast. I'm your host, motivational speaker, and health coach, Matt Scoletti. Here we go. I got my Erie Marathon shirt on because we're talking about marathons. We're talking about a lot of marathons, and I'm so excited not to share the story with you, but that'll be fun, but to give you the key takeaways that I learned from this insane amount of running that I probably maybe will never duplicate again in my life. Before we start, let me say this. I am not recommending anybody do something like this. I just have to throw it out there before we get into any content. You saw the title, 21 marathons in 21 days. I would never suggest somebody do this. I realize there's a lot of health problems that could occur from this, whether it's injuries, etc. Okay, throwing it out there. There's the disclaimer. Do not try this at home, as they say. And we'll get into that a little bit. You know what? Let's start there. When I first told social media that I was thinking about running a lot in order to raise money for a big cause, for not the first time, but I don't get a ton of hate DMs. I don't get a ton of hate direct messages in my Instagram and Facebook. And I got blasted like I've never got blasted before. Now, my rule of thumb is if people tell me that I'm crazy or I'm insane or that's stupid or you're ridiculous, my first reaction is to smile huge. I truly mean that because I believe if my goals, if my dreams, if my aspirations are not ridiculous or crazy or insane or impossible, then I'm not aiming high enough. I believe the same goes for you. I know you have more inside of you. I know I have more inside me. It's up to me to come up with this vision so insane that I get inspired to go after it every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year, period. So I throw that out there first. I got a lot of hate. I don't like the word hate at all, but I got a lot of people saying that I should not promote running this much because it's stupid and I'm going to hurt myself and it's all this different stuff. So I'm throwing it out there. I use that as fuel, as I usually do when I get the sporadic negative comment. By the way, let me say this too. I like not necessarily negative comments, but constructive criticism or flat out criticism, because I think there's almost always something I can learn from that. I know some of it is just hate or jealousy, etc., and that's fine. But a lot of times there are some nuggets in there, and I've gotten some great feedback from these Living the Dream workshops I've done that have really helped me. And it's constructive criticism, but it's criticism, but that can be so helpful. In this situation, a lot of it wasn't helpful. I appreciate people that were worried about my well-being. I totally understand that. However, I had multiple ultra marathoners and one woman who had run, I think it was 92 marathons in a row. That's 3 months of marathons. I think she set the world record by like a lot of marathons. I had these people coaching me and telling me how I can possibly make this a reality if I run that much. I had an unbelievable support team. Whatever you are looking to do in your life, if you surround yourself with people that are playing the game, whatever the game is, if it's running, if it's business, entrepreneurship, health, diet, whatever the game is, if they're playing at a much higher level than you, you are going to gravitate higher and higher, and they will lift you up without even really trying. It's an amazing thing. You want to get healthier? Put yourself around people that are already healthy. It will automatically help you level up. You change your environment, you change your life. End of story. Now, to this story. August of 2020, I did a thing called the Miles Challenge. John, my good buddy John, actually came up with the idea. I loved the idea. The idea was this. You set up a website and people go on and donate a certain dollar value to Young Adult Survivors United. It's a charity my wife runs. She is a beautiful soul helping young adults battling cancer. And what she does every single day blows my mind. She is the strongest woman. She's the strongest person I've ever met in my entire life. It's not even close. I love you, honey. You're out there on this mission for an incredible cause, and I thank you for that. That is the cause I was running for, and my buddy John was running for. And we created a team of, I think, 15 people that each had their own little website. People would go on, and I did, for every $5 somebody donated to Young Adult Survivors United, say Yes You for short, every $5 they donated, I would run 1 mile. You donate $25, I would run 5 miles in honor of you or somebody of your choosing. If you donate $100, well, I'm running 20 miles, and so on. And what happened was, I had no plan of running 21 marathons in 21 days. Let me start out with that. I had no plan for that. I knew I would run a lot because of how generous and incredible human beings are. Even in the middle of a global pandemic, people are willing to reach deep into their pockets and help out those that need help. It blows my mind how generous people are in this world. And it blew my mind more than I ever even thought, because money was coming in like crazy and I couldn't keep up my running to the amount of money that was coming in. So that's number one. I did not prepare to run that much, but I did know I'd be running a lot. I figured 5, maybe 10 miles a day. It turned out to be more than that. Now, let me say this too. I was prepared to run a lot. I was prepared to run an insane amount. I had already done, I think it was 15 to 20 marathons, at least 15 marathons within the last year before this. I had run a 45-mile ultra marathon. I had run a 100-mile ultra marathon in April. So my body was used to, at this point, going long distances, very long distances. Now the money starts to flow in, and I think, like, I got to get running. Like, I get this started. August 1st was day one. I was already a few $100s in, so I had to run as far as I could go. I would cut myself off at a full marathon. And here's what would happen. I'm also working full-time during all of this and trying to give speeches here and there, mostly on Zoom. My alarm would go off at 3:30 in the morning most mornings. I typically like to start work 9:30, right around there. Alarm goes off at 3:30. I'm at the park by 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. It's pitch black out. Pitch black. I got my headlamp on and I'm out there running. First few marathons, I think were like 4 hours, 20 minutes, 4 hours, 30 minutes. As you can expect, as my legs got more beat up and it got further along in this marathon quest, I started running slower. But let's call it 5 hours on average. So I'm there at 4, I'm done at 9, I'm home at 9:30, I am working by 9:45. It's interesting to wake up at 3:30 in the morning once. It's kind of interesting. To do it twice, that could be a little tiring for me, but to do it 21 days in a row, basically, whole other world right there. It was insane, absolutely insane. But here's the kicker. When that alarm would go off at 3:30 or 3:45, whatever the number was, and it's dark and I'm tired and I'm just dragging sometimes, but the mission is massive. When the mission is massive, us as human beings can do things that are next to impossible. The mission is the only thing that got me through this brutal month of running. And it lifted me to levels I didn't think were possible. I like to think that I think big. I never would have thought I could have lasted running for 3 weeks straight in an insane amount of miles. But when the mission is massive, you can do anything you put your mind to, but it's not even that. It also goes into your heart. Because when you stand up for something or you believe in something much bigger than you, you can do things you never even thought possible. I was in pain after a couple marathons, but especially after 8 or 9 marathons. I'm in pain. I'm getting tired. I'm struggling through the morning, but then the rest of the day. But I'm telling myself, you're doing this for people that are battling every single day of their lives. I'm battling for a few weeks here, and then I get a long rest. These people that are battling cancer, they are doing it every day. There's no days off for them. 0 days off. So you know what? I'm going to push myself to the max for them. If I had been doing this just for my own pleasure, it's not really pleasure, it's pain. If I had been doing this just for me, there is no chance in hell that I'm running 21 marathons in 21 days. Just not possible. And that's going to be part of my challenge for you. And start thinking about this now. What is something that's bigger than you? And by the way, it could be one person bigger. It could be your spouse. It could be your spouse and your one child or 2 kids, 3 kids, just your family. The family is probably the most powerful one of all. When you connect to something larger than you, what I call connecting to your why, you do things that you look back and go, how the heck did I pull that off? I'm telling you right now. I got through these 21 marathons. I think it turned out to be 555 miles in 3 weeks. And I will admit to you, just so everybody knows this, I was hurting. My Achilles, I had a partial tear in my Achilles. It took a long time, many months to recover. I knew this. I deserved to have some sort of injury for how much I put my body through. And I thank my body every day that let me go those 555 miles in just a few weeks. I feel so blessed. I feel so honored. We raised, I think, well over $10,000 for young adults battling cancer. Beautiful cause, helping people that are battling every single day, and they're still battling. I get to rest now, and they're still battling. They're still getting after it. They have to. There's no choice. I will bring you to the challenge. You already know where this is going. My challenge to you is this. Connect with a why that is bigger than you and attack the mission. You might say, Matt, what's bigger than me? What's a bigger why? Well, we mentioned family, so I'll take it there for a second. Maybe you tie this mission to your family. You want to provide a better life for your family. You want to provide more finances for your family. So you come up with a budget and you figure out you're going to save and you're going to maybe go on a vacation next year. Whatever it is, come up with a mission bigger than you. Bigger than you. Maybe it's a charity. Like this mission, this charity bigger than me. When you're pushing yourself for young adults battling cancer, it took me places I never thought possible. Maybe there's a charity you've wanted to work with, but you haven't yet. Think about that. Come up with a mission there. Maybe it is running, and a certain dollar amount per mile will go to the charity. Maybe you just want to volunteer. Maybe you want to help out in a different capacity. Come up with that mission. Come up with something that drives you, that you feel inspired by, and you cannot wait to help. Because this is a win-win all the way around, right? I always find it interesting to think the more you give, the better you feel, right? So could you give out of like selfish reasons because you know you're going to feel better? Well, maybe, but it's a win. Everybody wins when you give. Every single person wins. You win. The person receiving wins. Maybe somebody saw you give something and they win because now their spirits are lifted and now they want to go give in some sort of way. When the mission is bigger than you, you become unstoppable. Unstoppable. Think about that. I want you to feel that. I beg and hope you do this, because when it's tied to something bigger than you and you achieve something or you push yourself further than you ever thought you could go, it's a whole different feeling. It's an unbelievable feeling. I wish I could just bottle it up and give it to you. That's what I'm trying to do. You need to go through some difficult time and some pushing yourself through times that maybe you didn't think you were going to get through. But when you look up and you see that mission, that why, boom, you can get through anything. Think about this one, because this idea changed the way that I think. Maybe your why, your mission is you want to give a speech to a certain group because you have knowledge that needs to be shared, but maybe you're too nervous to give the speech. Maybe you think, yeah, I'm not worth it. Or you think, they already know this information. Somebody told me this once years ago and it stuck with me. I'm telling you right now, stick with me for the rest of my life. If you have information that you know very well, or life experiences, clearly you know all your life experiences that you think can add value to other people, and you do not share them with other people, you are selfish. Think about that. I'll never forget when this guy told me this. I told him I want to give a speech. I thought I could add value. And I said, I'm just too nervous. I don't know if I want to get up there. He said, Matt, if you have life experiences, and he knew me, so he knew I had the experiences, and then you can inspire other people and you hold them in and you don't share them, that's the most selfish thing you can do, Matt. And he used that, and it triggered me to think, I don't want to be a selfish person, but it's true. If you have all these ideas inside of you and they never come out, then you don't get the chance to share with others and help others. And that's the ultimate in this world. Maybe the mission, we talked about family. Maybe it's with your health. Maybe it's giving a speech. Maybe it's with your job. If you can connect whatever your job is to the bigger mission and see how you fit in and how you can have a positive effect on your work environment, that could help you be so much more pumped to get to your job. It's amazing what this can do. So there's my challenge. Come up with a why that's bigger than you and attack that mission like you've never attacked anything before, and keep connecting with it for at least a few seconds every morning or right before you're walking into work or you're turning on your computer, whatever. Keep connecting to that, because the more you connect to it, the more, boom, it hammers it into your mind, and then you connect to that why and you become unstoppable. I can't wait to hear what you do, what your mission is. Please reach out to me. You know where to find me on social media. Please shoot me a DM. I'd love to hear what your mission is and how you're going to crush it. I love you all as always, and I will see you in 1 week from today. I already can't wait.